Coming up in this edition of Retro Newsround, a brand new version of the Vectrex home console, the Evel Knievel stunt cycle makes a comeback, and play as He-Man in a Masters of the Universe video game. Arguably one of the most iconic toys ever, the Evel Knievel stunt cycle was a must-have Christmas toy back in the 1970s and still holds a significant amount of nostalgia for many of us today. Over 50 years old now, so good luck finding a model that still works reliably. This toy, in a rather exciting turn, is getting something of an unofficial resurrection in the form of Stuntman Stew, which is currently available now in 2025 in its reimagined form. The Stuntman Stew Nitro Boost stunt bike set appears to be functionally identical to the original Evel Knievel stunt cycle, but with a different cosmetic design which, to be fair, is more likely to appeal to modern children. It comes with a bike and an action figure, the mechanical winder for launching, an 18cm ramp, and a brick wall to blast through and demolish. If you want to get your hands on one for your kids, or maybe even as a guilty pleasure for yourself, the set is available from Smith's Toys, The Entertainer, and other shops that also stock toys like Argos, for example, for the modest sum of £25. You may have heard of the Evercade handheld gaming device, which has been available from Blaze Entertainment since 2020, which takes physical cartridges and plays a mix of classic, officially licensed retro games. Well, now Blaze are releasing a new line of pocket-sized keychain games, celebrating classic arcade gaming. The Super Micro Keychain Gamers, as reported on TimeExtension.com, comprise 4 different keyrings with 2-inch LCD screens, physical control buttons, including volume, and each is powered by 3 AAA batteries. The Asteroids edition comes with Asteroids, Gravitar, and Yar's Revenge built in. The Centipede edition comes with Centipede, Millipede, and Crystal Castles. The Space Invaders edition has just Space Invaders on it, and the Burger Time edition contains Burger Time, Karate Champ, and Side Pocket, which is a snooker game. The Super Micro Keychain Gamers will be available from October the 30th, 2025, priced at £19.99 each. If I were to ask you to put your hands up if you're a fan of 1983's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, I'm guessing that'll be at least 80% of you. Well, if you raised your hand, good news, as there's a brand new He-Man video game coming your way from retro games company Bitmap Bureau. The game is a side-scrolling beat-em-up with retro-style pixel art graphics and gameplay in the style of Golden Axe and Double Dragon type games. It's described as having 12 scrolling levels and different characters to choose from, each with different abilities and power-ups, and you'll be fighting against Skeletor and his forces as he attempts to take over Eternia. We have a bit of a wait on our hands as it's due for release in early 2026. However, I think it will be worth the wait if we get to play as He-Man, riding on Battle Cat and screaming out, "By the power of Grayskull!" as he holds aloft his magic sword. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Dragon Pearl of Destruction will be available on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch and Steam. Another 1980s classic TV show, Knight Rider this time, is also getting a fresh on-screen adaptation. The team that brought us the Cobra Kai TV show, which was based on the 1984 Karate Kid movie, are now working on bringing us a Knight Rider movie based on the 1982 TV show. Knight Rider was resurrected in 2008 for a short-lived TV show remake, however it wasn't generally well received and never got past its first season. Hopefully this time though it might fare better as a standalone movie. We've no details on a plot or release date yet, but we do know it's being put together by producers with a proven track record in successful movie and TV production, so we may yet get to see a portrayal of Michael Knight and the Knight Industries 2000 that will do the long-term fans justice, as well as maybe bringing in a newer audience of potentially younger viewers. Retro Games Limited, the company that brought us replicas of our favourite gaming machines including the Spectrum, the C64 Mini and the A500 Mini, as well as various retro controller replicas, is now planning to bring us a replica of the Commodore Amiga A1200 entitled the A1200. They announced this new machine at the recent Gamescom exhibition in Germany and confirmed it will be a full-size replica of the original machine with a working keyboard and one game confirmed included so far, which is the new Amiga version of The Settlers 2, which wasn't available for Amiga originally but has now received an updated remake. The company's previous releases have been well received and usually include a selection of licensed games built in, as well as the option to add your own, but it's early days at the moment with no release date confirmed yet and no roster of games announced. However, they have teased an announcement coming in October 2025, which should reveal a release date and pricing, so keep an eye out for that. More retro game Replica goodness now with the Vectrex, which was a unique home console that was built into its own TV cabinet much like a proper arcade machine, and was released to the UK back in 1983 by MB Games. Beloved by many retro gaming collectors now, this machine has always been a difficult and expensive one to source and maintain. However, in news that will delight anyone who's always wanted one, and that includes myself, it's in the process of being recreated in a mini form by a professional group of enthusiasts in France through a Kickstarter project. A prototype was shown off at this year's Gamescom exhibition, and although the unique CRT screens that gave the original machine its beautifully drawn arcade-style vector graphics just don't exist anymore in any kind of affordable form, the plan is to recreate the original feel of the machine using a vibrant LED screen technology, and this is the one thing that seems to be dividing opinion at the moment. If that's not an issue for you though, you can find the latest information on their official website, and the Kickstarter project is currently due to start around November 2025 with an expected price of about £120. Back in 1989 we were treated to the very first Wallace and Gromit experience on TV, A Grand Day Out. This short film by Aardman Animations marked the beginning of two classic British characters that have been with us ever since, and will forevermore remain national treasures in the public consciousness. To celebrate this British love affair with the beloved duo, Aardman and Fox & Edwards Events have teamed up to bring us a steam train based afternoon tea experience inspired by aspects of the Wallace and Gromit films, creating an immersive, themed dining space including Wallace and Gromit inspired menu items and of course lots of cracking cheese to choose from. The events named Wallace and Gromit Time for Tea are in the process of rolling out through 2025 along Britain's numerous heritage railway sites, with further sites to be announced during 2026. So if you're a fan of clotted cream and scones, pots of tea, cheese, cakes and sandwiches, steam trains, and of course Wallace and Gromit, keep an eye on your local railway heritage sites for news of these events, or check out the Fox & Edwards website that I've linked to in the description for the latest announcements. I've also included example links to current events running in Kent and Leicestershire to give you an idea of what to expect during your grand day out. And finally, if you loved playing on electronic handheld games back in the 70s, 80s, 90s and early 2000s, and you'd like to get your hands on them again without having to pay eBay prices, I'd like to recommend RetroFab, a website that allows you to play on over 100 simulated retro handhelds, lovingly reproduced with box art and manuals, and all beautifully presented in a way that makes you feel like you're actually holding them in your hands. I did a full video reviewing every aspect of this incredible collection back in 2024, but I'm aware that not everyone will have seen that, so I felt it was worth a quick shout out in case you've never seen it. These games can be played in an internet browser using a computer keyboard, mobile touchscreens, or Bluetooth game controllers if you have one, so whatever device you own, you'll be able to enjoy these games to the full. The games are hosted on an itch.io webpage by their creator Itizso, and you can find links to that and more of Itizso's gaming creations in this video's description. Well, that about wraps up this 4th edition of Retro Newsround, so until the next one, thank you for liking and subscribing, and of course thank you all for watching RetroSteveUK.